Welcome. This is Gretchen Livingston, and she is going to share with you experiences regarding the Guatemala trip. Welcome.
Good evening. I'm Gretchen Livingston. I teach Spanish here at Cony, 8th grade and every level at the high school, depending on the year, levels 1 through 5. We have a presentation of the Cony Spanish Club. We're going to need to dim the lights. We have a slideshow that we're going to run as we are speaking, and we're going to continue the theme tonight of service learning in supporting third world countries. And so before we dim the lights, I just want to congratulate the Lincoln 6th graders on a project and a presentation. Very well done. And as a Cony teacher, I'm really looking forward to having you come up and be in my classroom. Okay, so the Cony Spanish Club traveled to Guatemala over February vacation. There were 8 students and 4 adults, 3 parents and myself, that accompanied the students on the trip. This was my second trip as a support team member to participate in the Safe Passage program in Guatemala City. The first opportunity that I had was back in 2008. I actually went with a group of students from Yarmouth. It was a last-minute opportunity, and the first moment that I got there, I realized that I needed to go back with my own students. So I've returned twice with Cony students, once in 2010, and some of you saw that presentation, and then just now in 2012. Safe Passage is a program that works with the families who live around the Guatemala City garbage dump. It's actually a program that was begun by a woman from Yarmouth. Her name was Hanley Denning, and she was working in Antigua, which is about 45 minutes outside of Guatemala City in the outskirts. And her friend convinced her to go to Guatemala City and see the dump. When she arrived at the dump, and you'll see a couple of pictures of that in a little bit, she actually was appalled. There were children working in the dump. The conditions were horrendous. And she said to her parents, please sell my car, sell my computer, send me the money, and I'm going to begin a program for these children. The first year, the program serviced about 60 children, and now services almost 600 children. Unfortunately, Hanley Denning passed away in 2007 in a tragic car accident in Guatemala City, but the program continues to flourish, and many groups from Maine and around the nation and also international volunteers are able to go down and support the program. So the Service Learning Project was actually initiated by this young lady from Maine, and our students are continuing her vision and her dream. The pictures that you see behind you right now are just some shots that members of our group took while we were there. What's currently on the screen are pictures of the Guatemala City garbage dump. There you see people claiming a truck that's just arrived. They're going to go through that trash to look for things that can be recycled, cardboard, glass, plastics that they can then sell to make their living. So the program that we worked with works with the children whose parents work in the Guatemala City garbage dump to hopefully provide for them a better future than what their parents are currently experiencing. And what we're going to do now is we have some of the students that went that are going to speak about the different projects that we did within the program. Erica?
Hi, my name's Erica Burns, and I'm a senior at Cony.
And my name is Becky Rugen, and I am a parent of a traveling senior who also went.
So we spent one day at the Escuelita, which is a part of Safe Passage. It's like a preschool there, and it's for kids ages 2 to 6 years old. And it has a Montessori style of learning. And it actually recently got recognized by the government as an actual school, so the kids can spend a full day there, which it's really important for them to start out in Safe Passage as young as possible to have the ideas that Safe Passage has in mind for them. And we definitely got as much from the kids as they got from us. It was one of all of our favorite days to work with them, and it was just so much fun to be able to play with them and help them learn English, which they have a half hour of every day through like playing and songs. And, so it was a lot of fun to work with them. And you can actually sponsor kids at Safe Passage. The Livingstons, the Rugens, and the Branigans are all going to sponsor children that they met on this trip. And a girl at Cony from the 2010 trip continues to sponsor a child. So Senora actually got to read to one of the kids that is already being sponsored and just meet with her. And the Escuelita is kind of like an oasis from the neighborhood around it. It's a really poor neighborhood. It's right next to the dump. And when you walk into the Escuelita, it's kind of a whole nother world, and it's a safe haven for the kids there. It's completely different from the neighborhood surrounding it. And they're given meals at the Escuelita. They're given a snack that's like their breakfast in the morning. They're served lunch and a snack before they go home. And the meals are designed because Safe Passage knows that some of the kids won't receive any meals at home, so it's to hold them through until they come back to the Escuelita. And they also have nap time every day, and yeah,
they have little bunk bed contraptions built up, and I think I'm not sure if it was you, but a couple of the kids, the younger ones, tried to entice the teenagers to climb up into the crib area to sleep with them. I'm not sure if you guys made it up there or not, but yeah, we don't think we got any pictures of that.
The kids are just really excited to be with us, and as you can see, they're kind of climbing all over us, and just really excited to have people around them that really give them the attention that they really need, and they just have a blast there.
Okay, thank you.
Well, thank you very much for coming this evening. Do you have something more? Oh, good.
So we had two age groups that we mainly worked with, and one of them was first graders. And we read to them in Spanish, like books that we would have learned as we were growing up. And then we sang to them like our nursery songs in English and taught them the dances to go along with it. And then we made Play-Doh with them, and it went along with our reading with our singing for the unicorn song. And they made different shapes with them, as you can see. It was nice to spend time with a certain group of kids and bond with them and just, I don't know, they needed you and they loved you. It was a lot of fun.
So there's two more sections, just so you want to know where to jump in and ask us questions. But we did this, as Elizabeth said, we worked with first graders, and then we also worked with a group of ninth graders. So they kind of give you, actually, let me just say first, I'm Michael Brannigan. I'm a senior at Cony. No, just kidding. Senior. No. I went as a chaperone, and my son Jack also went, and he's doing Chisel Whizzle right now, so he couldn't make it. But that's him right there, singing to the kids, and he had a great time. He told me, a lot of the guys said this, but he said he wants to take a year off between high school and college and go down and spend like 6 months with these kids because they had such an impact on him, and you can just see they just totally loved him, and he got along great with them, and all the kids did. None of them wanted to come back. They all wanted to stay down and keep volunteering. So. Secondly, we had a group of older kids, and they were like, they called them ninth graders, but they were anywhere from 16 up to early 20s, and they wanted, that extra safety of being in the school, and they're a little more skeptical, though. They're a little more worldly than the first graders, so it took a little while to kind of make a connection with them. In this activity we were doing there, we brought down an experiment where a little electricity experiment, and we brought a bunch of setups for them that they could try the experiment, and then we left it all with them so they can continue to use it. Then we had these little stations where you taught them juggling or tap dancing, cheering, other things. We stayed away from soccer because they knew that way better than we did. So we didn't. And then at the end of our time with them, we go on a trip somewhere within the country, and they really look forward to it. I think that's the only time they do this. They kind of rotate through all the classes, and once a year they get to go somewhere. So they went with us, and we went to a water park and out to the coast, and they had a great time with that. So after that, got to do a little bit of touring.
I'm Barbara Livingston. I'm a former Augusta teacher, and I'm Signora's mom. And so as well as volunteering, we did get to see some culture, and we did do a little touring. So we're touring around a lake in Guatemala where there are Mayan villages, and we were able to go into the Mayan villages. We saw a women's co-op for textiles, and our students were able to try on some of the, here we are, some of the clothes, the traditional clothes that the Mayan women wear. And even little 2-year-old girls wear the traditional clothing, and it's just amazing to see them walking around with the garb on, and I think the girls enjoyed dressing up. We also had an opportunity for swimming. I think you already saw that. The food was fabulous. The students that we were with were amazing students. They tried anything. They did everything that we asked them to do. They were willing to volunteer, and you saw pictures of them volunteering in the kitchen. They were great kids. Towards the end of the trip, we had an opportunity to climb a volcano. I was a little leery at my age of 65 to do that, but I said, okay, I'll try. And the volcano had erupted on May on May 5th. So the majority of our climb was through volcanic ash. So by the time we were done, our legs were covered with black and our sneakers were black. But we all made it up, toasted the marshmallows, and were able to slide back down the volcano. Gretchen has allowed me to do many things, and I always wanted to know what the Guatemalan, what made her continue to go back to Guatemala, and now I know.